A doctor's job doesn't end when leaving the hospital. Something that I learned from my dad growing up, who was also a physician, but also something I was reminded of this past week when both my mom and my younger sister became sick just a couple of days apart from each other. Thankfully not coronavirus related at all. In my younger sister's case, I was able to be with her and sit by her side and hold her hand through it all. But in my mom's case, we actually did have to go to the hospital. But when I got there, because of the visitor restriction policy, I was told that I had to sit outside in my car. And as I sat outside in my car, just not knowing what's going on in the hospital, feeling so uncertain, I realized that one of the hardest parts of this whole situation with COVID-19 is this feeling of just uncertainty and separation from our loved ones and loneliness. But even in those moments when we can't be there for our loved ones and they can't have us with them, God reminds us that He is with us. In the book of Isaiah 41:13, He says, "For I, the Lord your God, hold your right hand." In the Gospel of Mark chapter 8, we read of one of the miracles of Jesus healing a blind man. It says in verse 22, "They came to Bethsaida. Some people brought a blind man to Him and begged Him to touch him." The next verse it says, "He took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the village." Now in the end, Jesus heals this blind man of his blindness. But picture what's going on in the beginning. We have a blind man who is completely surrounded by darkness, who doesn't know where he's going, but is walking hand in hand with Jesus. And in these moments of separation, of loneliness, of suffering, God reminds us we are never alone, that He is with us. So maybe it's not about being able to see the next step in front of you. Maybe it's not about knowing what tomorrow holds, but maybe it's about knowing who's holding your hand.